everyone, and welcome to the first episode of In the KIoTchen, Conversations on IoT with Breadware. I'm your host, Kerry Siggins, CEO of Breadware, and I'm so excited to have my guest today, Kristen Naeini. She is the training director at RealWear. She's going to tell us all about it. So welcome to the show, Kristen.
I'm excited to be your first guest. Let's do this.
All right. So first, tell us a little bit about yourself and what your interest in technology is.
So my name is Kristen. Hello, and I came from the cell phone world background back in the day, and my interest in tech. I really had to think about this before I got on this camera because I really wanted to dig where this all came from. And I think what it boils down to is my interest in tech comes from the fact that I don't love products. I'm not one of those people who likes to buy stuff. And I like to be just a minimalist that carries the very few things that are essential. So for me, tech, like whether it be a phone or a laptop, these are essential items that are really like life-changing things that you have, that you need. Even if you're going to go live in a, backpacking life, you're still going to want your phone with you. So what better products to be, talking about that excite people the most than stuff that's really meaningful? And I think that's where my passion comes from with tech.
And when did you get started in tech?
Well, I'll say career-wise, I think my first job was at Singular Wireless back in the day, for all of you cell phone geeks out there with me. And before that, my dad was a computer engineer, so I was really into computers when I was a child. And of course, we all have that kind of story background at this point. But I really enjoyed selling phones as my first job, and it was the best first job I could have possibly had.
I remember my first cell phone.
What was it?
It was an Ericsson. I can't even remember one of those popular Ericssons, right? I was a sophomore in college, and it was so exciting. And going to the cell phone store and getting in, and being like, "Oh my God, new technology! This is amazing!" So it just brings back fond memories.
I think everyone will always remember their first cell phone. Like if there's a chat box like recording with this, put what your first cell phone was because I want to see what it was.
Exactly. What was your first cell phone?
My high school boyfriend bought me a phone, a prepaid phone, and it was a Nokia, and it was just the black one that you had to put your business card underneath because the battery kept disconnecting. I don't know if you guys remember that phone. It was like the 5190. Then I, later upgraded to that Razor that came out, but I still
Razor.
have my Razor.
So
Museum
much fun.
piece at this point.
Thank you for taking a walk down memory lane. All right, let's talk a little bit about the company you work for, RealWear. Can you tell us what RealWear does?
Yeah, so a little bit of backstory. I was at my last company. I worked for Samsung for 14 years, and I was a die-hard Samsung person. And I think no one ever thought I would leave that company. So it's still people have no idea. Like, you laughed? How could you leave? But I left because there was this product I saw at AWE, which is the Augmented Reality Conference in San Jose. Rest in peace right now, conferences. But when we got to go see all those cool new products, there was one that really stood out to me. So I went back on LinkedIn and online and I started researching more about this company. And it was just the thing about it was the voice recognition on it was something that was, I wish my phone had as a consumer. I wish, all these other products that were voice activated were working this well and this quick. But it really stood out to me just for that because I didn't really know anything else besides that at that point. And so what this company is, I left my job and I came to RealWear. So we make this head-mounted wearable tablet. And I know it's sort of hard to wrap your head around in the very beginning, but this is really made for a specific person. It's not like you're going to go to Best Buy and buy it for gaming. It's not a consumer product. It's really for the customer or the person they have a job where they need information on the spot and they really need their hands to do that job, meaning like they can't be carrying a phone or a tablet or a PC walking around trying to, interact with people or gather information. They really need to be holding on to things for safety or climbing or fixing machinery as they're getting information. So they just glance down in this little micro display and they see a 7-inch Android tablet. And instead of touching the screen, it's completely voice activated. But I think what really caught me was that the voice activation is like magical. It's so fast and it's so accurate. I've never seen anything come close to it. So that's what really got me excited about it. And then I started digging, like, who is this for? What is the value of this product? And I really got that spark of like excitement again. It was phones, phones, phones for so many years, and then I was like, there's something else out there that's so meaningful that I want to dig into more. So here we are today.
And so, who are your clients?
Well, we have a lot of clients I would love to brag about online, but they're so quiet about using it. But it's basically every large car manufacturer, every large oil and gas company, every company out there that does verticals in manufacturing, food manufacturing, any product manufacturing, really. Oil and gas. We have automotive. We have. I'm trying to think of my most used clients. Medical. We see a lot of coming up in medical lately with meaningful wearables, I think. But it kind of spans. Anybody that's a technician or working in a factory or plant or anywhere, even mines. We have a lot of customers that are in the mining industry. That's what we see a lot of. Me personally, I'm dealing with a lot of in training a lot of end users directly, and they'll be someone who's either on the technical side, kind of being the expert, walking the person through who's wearing it, or they'll be the end user, like either in the factory or out there in the field fixing a piece of machinery.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I love this product, and I can't wait to have it in my repertoire. All right. So, in your opinion, what do you think the future of wearable technology is?
I feel like that's such a big question for asking little old me, but I feel like the trend I've seen. So, Carrie, a little backstory again. I remember being at CES and in Vegas and releasing the first ever wearable watch, and it was connected and it was LTE. And for me, again, back to that product thing, I think about where wearables have already kind of been already. Like we're kind of sussed through what wearables were able to do, I feel like, in the first couple of years. And it's really for me like it comes down to, do I want to spend the effort to charge another thing? Because with wearables, like you already have your phone, you already have, maybe your tablet, maybe and your PC. Do I want to control keeping another thing charged? Is it worth it to me? Is it worth it to me to buy another connected thing? And so I think they've kind of gone through these renditions of like consumer gimmicky because of the cool factor, and then we kind of are getting down to like real uses that are practical now, which I really love because that's just meaningful, right? So instead of seeing some of these items maybe for the more like I can't count this out because of course entertainment is always going to be there, especially for this like VR AR status, but things that really help people improve their lives, like worth it enough for you to buy it and for you to keep it charged and it be like one of those staple pieces like your phone. And I feel like that's where we're going. And really oddly enough, Carrie, I feel like it's so amazing that wearables can even be something like a prosthetic or an implant. I mean, imagine how it's going to be when we are really using that at larger scale, and it's something that could be very very hard to deal with or something that's very complicated. Now you have this wearable that makes your life so much easier to the sense that you can't live without it. So I think we're really going down that path is the trends I'm seeing.
Yeah, and that's really exciting. I mean, there's all kinds of interesting IoT enabled products out there that are, I don't know, quite frankly, silly. And so it's great to be able to see the advancements on technology that on products that really do make our lives easier. And I completely agree with you. I think that wearables will be a big part of it, and it's going to be about doing things more efficiently and being able to consume data and use data and the vast amounts that are out there. So that's why being the CEO of Breadware, it's really exciting to be on the product development side of that, helping our clients bring those products to fruition, because I think they have the opportunity to solve some of the world's greatest challenges.
Gosh, I feel the same. And it's not all about, you know, the gimmick anymore, right? Like, okay, it's cool. We have AR to do this thing, I'm just showing it off to show it off in this dream world demo. It's like, what can this stuff really do? How can we really leverage what, the specs and hardware and the software we build in this stuff to really enhance people's lives? And I'm glad we're getting more away from that gimmick side of it, like you're saying, it's kind of silly. And we're really moving towards, I mean, I think about just even my sister, she's a diabetic, and the things she has to go through to, you know, read her blood sugar levels and just manage her life every day. It's like, I can't wait for those days that we're 3D printing, organs and tissue, and it's going to be so exciting. And some of those are considered wearables.
Absolutely, absolutely. And IoT has really been, the advancement of all of this to be able to say, how do we actually get data and make better decisions? So, how is the development, of IoT technology play into the future of wearables, in your opinion?
Yeah, some of this stuff, in my opinion, won't be possible without leveraging IoT and machine learning. How are you going to, for example, have a product work seamlessly with you if it's not really understanding you and understanding your habits to suggest things that are going to benefit your life? I mean, that's what makes the product. And I know there's always this controversy of like my data and my security, and I've gone through that since the beginning of selling my first phone. It was always the case, right? But I think that without it, we can't make these advancements that are going to make these big things that are exciting and meaningful. Internet of Things, I remember talking about it the first time again at CES. We had this city that was totally connected, and 5G is really going to take us to the next level with that, connecting infrastructures with cars, and it's going to go beyond the home, and we know that we're already seeing that in so many ways. But I think for the connected worker in my space right now, we see more of this like IIoT for the industrial world, where imagine you're the person working on a piece of machinery where you're reading panels, you're reading data from a computer screen, but your machine is over here, and maybe you have to climb to get to it. I mean, that's not efficient. I want to be able to just glance down I'm wearing my PPE anyway, glance down and see all the data I need and be able to quickly and more safely, get the task done. And I feel like that's really how we're tying our product together with IIoT. But in the consumer world, life's just going to get easier, right?
Yeah, I hear you. I agree. So you said machine learning. How is RealWear going to be integrating machine learning into their system? Or if you want to talk more generally, how will wearables use machine learning?
So we launched this product publicly, the widest scale, in I think 2017, and that's still pretty new. I mean, in the scheme of things, maybe not, because stuff's coming every day, but we're still collecting all of that information to keep advancing. So the more we sell, we use, it's out there, the more we're going to be able to keep integrating machine learning. And I think that's what people want to see. Like, I work with a lot of developers. We have a developer academy where people come and they learn how to make applications for our product. And I see people getting really hung up on showing off the stuff, right? Like the flashy stuff and the stuff that might be really complex to actually execute as the user. Like, I don't want to have to sign in and go through all of this stuff and, you know, filter through information and have somebody backload information. I want to arrive somewhere. I want my hardware to know where I'm at, feed me the information that I need based on where I'm at, or the most frequently contact person, or the most route that I take to fix this piece of machinery. I don't want to have to tell my hardware what to do all the time. I want it to tell me and suggest to me the best moves. It's like you're taking the best moves and the best practices from everybody and getting it suggested to you is far more easy than digging for information, especially when you need it super fast. So,
Ah, that's Great example. Perfect. All right, so we're going to wrap up here. If you can give one piece of advice to companies creating IoT products, what would it be?
Oh, just one. Dang.
Hey, we've got all day. You can give multiple if you
I
want.
have two. I have two that come to my mind. One I already said is keep it simple. I mean, have the end user always in mind. End users don't want to go through torture connecting any IoT product, whether it be for consumer or industrial. People don't want to have to go through that initial sign in, login, configuration, provisioning applications. That might be necessary, but there's faster and easier ways to do that. That initial setup, that initial use. Make that experience very easy for the customer. Please do whatever you can. Invest time in that because that's the thing that's going to make people actually start using your product. They don't like complicated things that they've never seen before. The second one I would say is make it inclusive. IoT is all about connecting to other things, right? And if your product only connects to one thing, or it only can sign in with one platform, you're limiting the IoT space. Be the person that takes the IoT space to the next level and lets your user open it up to not have limitations. Because Kerry and I might be talking on, let's say, Microsoft Teams or Zoom, but we can't connect to somebody that's using a device or a different product or software. And that's problematic if you have these web-based platforms or these internet-based platforms that are more open, like these two examples, then you don't have limitations. You don't have the reason not to use it. So I think those are the two that come to mind.
Yeah, I love it. And they really are tied together. Inclusiveness can make it simple for people. If I want to be in Teams and connect to somebody who only has Zoom, that simplifies my life and it's inclusive. So I think that they play off of each other and it's fantastic advice. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course. Thank you for listening to it.
All right. Well, that is a wrap. Thank you so much for coming on the inaugural episode of In the KIoTchen. I really appreciate your time, Kristen. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on, Kerry.
Absolutely. All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.